Hello, this is Matthew Robert Payne, and this is uh, a new chapter in a new book. The book is called 71 Helpful Writing Habits You Can Learn from Self-Publishing 91 Books. Um, this is chapter 45, and it's called Follow Good Writers and Glean Things from Them. I mentioned before that I follow the writer Adam Houge, Houge, who's really a prolific Christian author. The story behind him is he used to be a traveling preacher and go from church to church and preach messages to churches, and there's a lot of expense involved in traveling and hotels, and there's a lot of time away from family, and it can be a really costly financially and costly to your family life vocation to have. I'm not sure when it happened, but he wrote a book that sold 1 million copies, and he suddenly got very successful. In today's world, that would be like a video going viral. And he really hit things off in a big manner. Many people come to realize who he was, and I think that helped his decision, but I'm not sure. He decided to become a full-time writer. I discovered him through the offering of a free book that he offered. That's one thing that I learned from him, was to make my books free, and to make them free once every 3 months on Kindle Unlimited. And that's a practice I do and have been doing for years. So I discovered him through a free book. But when I went to his author page, I found out that all his books were 99 cents. And he even had books that were collections of books, 4 books all together in a series. And the whole series was 99 cents. So apart from my brother telling me to make my books 99 cents, he was a successful author, an author whose books sell a lot more than mine, offering his books for 99 cents. And that was an encouragement to me. He is also the author who wrote in the back of his book, just after you finish reading the last words in his book, he writes a post called "I'd love to hear from you," and I already covered that early in this book. So I gleaned 3 things from him: making my books free from time to time, making my books 99 cents, and putting that piece of writing in the back of my book, "I'd love to hear from you." He was very kind in his writing towards poor people and homeless people. And I wondered why he had such an empathy for homeless people, because so few people do. And I come to realize in one of his books, he shared that his wife and children were homeless for a time, and they lived in their car. And I came to understand that's why he had the empathy, because he'd lived a life. Adam Houge tells some wonderful stories and uses really honest illustrations, and I learned that from him. I speak about Adam Houge here not just to advertise him to people reading this book, but he's the author that I've got about 40 books from. I also gleaned something from him, the design for my book cover with the brackets that I mentioned, that the branded design that I have on most of my books. I got that bracketed design from the cover of one of his books. I actually wrote him an email and shared with him that I'd copied his cover design on one of his books, and I branded my books that way, and asked him if he wanted me to stop. And I wrote that email because I didn't want to be found guilty of copying something off another author and not giving them credit for it. But he never returned my email. He must have been too busy to respond to my email. So I've continued using that. So I tend to like authors who make short sentences and run-on sentences. I tend to like that style in writing, and although I dictate my books and my sentences normally are long with commas, I tend to like to do short sentences from time to time and run-on sentences because I like that style. So concentrate when you're reading books and look at certain things that different authors do, and don't be afraid to copy what they're doing and emulate. Copywriters were first called copywriters because they used to read other advertisers' copy, and they used to copy the advertisers' writings and the advertisers' appeals. So there's no problem with copying other people, and you can learn and glean many good things from reading other authors.